The neighborhood basically was an old area, and Center Street was the dividing line. It was the red line. Blacks could live on the eastern side of Center Street, and whites lived on the western side. And a colloquial kind of reference is made by the use of the phrase Dynamite Hill. And if you talk about Dynamite Hill, you're talking about this particular area in which we're standing, where the first houses were bombed. I grew up in the city of Birmingham proper. It was a very good time to be a child. We had enough food to eat. We had enough clothing to keep the cold out. We had lots of love, attention, both at home, in the community, and at my church. I want to say I was probably around 11 years old when things began to become more apparent to me about racial conditions that existed. Birmingham was terrifically segregated, so that when we got on a bus, there was a sign that on one side said colored and on the other side said white. It was against the law for blacks and whites to play checkers, play sports of any kind together. We couldn't sit down together in a restaurant unless we were separated by a wall, and it was a very difficult time. And then I go to the March on Washington. I was given a button to pin on my shirt. There was every kind of person that you could see that existed in America out there that day. And at the end of the day, when Martin Luther King concluded his speech, I know that I had tears in my eyes. Immediately following the March on Washington, I come to Alabama and go to school at Talladega College, and the home across the street from my parents' house was bombed.
When the house was bombed, Houston was living across the street. And when the bomb went off, he came right running. He was the first person here who helped my father open the door. He immediately came in, checked on me, checked on my father.
2 weeks later, 2 little girls who were very close to my family, I mean, it's like extended family, were killed in the 16th Street bombing. There's nothing that anybody can say to me for that loss of and that event. I mean, it's the most heinous example of hatred, pure hatred and evil that has happened personally in my entire life. 4 little girls. One of the things that I did know was that I had to contribute something, do something in some way. And I decided that maybe my calling was the law.
When he was a senior in law school, he came to me in my office and he decided that he wanted to clerk for me. He thought that would be of assistance to him once he came out of law school, and I employed him right off the bat. His work with the firm during the entire time that we were together as lawyer and employee and as partners was very, very good.
I didn't set out to make a mark. I didn't set out to be unique in any way. But I set out to whatever I did, to try to do the very best that I could.
He was a man that grew up in pretty rough times, a segregated Birmingham, but he became a person that had a great ability to work with people of all types, to bring people together, whether it was working on a project or handling a case. He had a great ability to seek compromise.
The public began to take notice of him, and he was then appointed as a circuit judge. And in order to be appointed as a circuit judge, you have made a reputation for yourself. He did so well as a circuit judge, as a trial judge, that at the end of his period of being a circuit judge, the other judges nominated and voted him in as the presiding judge of the 10th Judicial Circuit. He had a temperament that would be equal for everybody, for the client and for the lawyer. He had an even personality, and that served him very well.
Houston has integrity, and he's very high on that, and he maintains that all the time. And I think he's been a role model for a lot of the young attorneys coming on. And he wasn't the attorney to say, I got mine, now you get yours. He was always willing to share the knowledge that he had.
In my life, my mentors are my mother and father. My father was a maker of men, and he thought that he could take any young man and through mentoring, through helping, talking, teaching, involvement in their lives, that he could help them to grow into manhood.
To me, one of the things about Birmingham, Alabama is and embrace may be a funny word to use, we embrace our past and know that by acknowledging where we came from, we can become better. And, he's seen some things that people shouldn't have to see. But like I say, instead of just being bitter, he wants to make it better. And I think he has done that, and it has affected so many people.
Houston Brown he's a great judge and a solid person, good citizen, and just a solid man.
He's one to be a destiny changer. He's made decisions. He's worked on the social justice issues. And to see him from where he started in the yard playing basketball, dealing with the problems of the kids, to be on the courts as a judge. So we're all so very proud of him and the impact that he's had on the citizens here in Birmingham and for the state of Alabama.
We got to start doing something. We got to do more. We got to talk. We got to talk to each other. And we got to talk and talk historically, truthfully about what happened. And the problem is this: never let anybody tell your story.